Titles are a great way to show off your dedication to Destiny 2, and the good news is that the Splicer title is one of the easier titles to acquire in the game. Well, today I'm going to go through everything you need to do to get the Splicer title so you can show off your Splicer skills to everyone else in Destiny 2. But if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, to unlock the Splicer title, we've got a completely specific season of the Splicer Triumphs, and to have a look at the checklist for yourself in the game, open up your character menu and then navigate to Triumphs, and at the bottom you can see the Splicer seal. Once you're there, inspect it and you'll see your checklist. And there's lots of Triumphs to complete in Season of the Splicer, however there's only 10 that you need to focus on for that Splicer title. Well, the good news is that most of the Triumphs are relatively straightforward, and the main issue for acquiring the title is time-gated content, and mainly having to wait for the upcoming weeks of the story content. The main examples here are the Path of the Splicer story quest and unlocking the Splicer Gauntlet upgrade, especially considering the recent additions from the Corrupted Expunge missions. There's also 2 secret entries in the Triumph list, and they are Daybreak and Brute Force. But let's go through all of the Triumphs one by one so you can get that Splicer title nice and easy. Well, first up we've got Walk the True Path, so here you have to complete all Path of the Splicer quests. So every week you have a new Path of the Splicer quest, and this is started by having a chat with the Splicer servitor each week, and then we head into the Override mission and then sometimes the Expunge missions too. This has been the main mechanism for delivery of the story in Season of the Splicer, and it's really nice and easy to complete. And if you miss one or all of them, then you can do them back to back, so it's relatively easy to get through them in sequence. Well, next up we got Power in Your Hands, so here you have to unlock all 21 Splicer Gauntlet upgrades. So the item that we've been powering up this season is the Splicer Gauntlet, and to do this you're going to need decrypted data, and that is a reward from various seasonal challenges, plus the Override and Expunge missions. So there's 3 rows of 7 upgrades on the Splicer Gauntlet, so what you need to do is farm out decrypted data, purchase the upgrade, and you'll be able to complete this one no problem at all. The bottom row is quite expensive, with each upgrade costing 500 data each, so do bear in mind you are going to need a lot of the decrypted data currency. Well, next up it's Nocturne, so you need to collect 10 pages of the Beneath the Endless Night lore book, and pages are opened up week by week as you do these story missions. An additional one was given to us by completing the introduction quest called Beneath the Great Machine. So given we got 8 story missions in total and 1 page was given to us in the introduction, it's probably likely we're going to get one during the epilogue at the end of the season. I'll be sure to comment down below once this is revealed. However, I believe if you continue with the story content for the season, then the lore pages will be given to you with little trouble. Well, next up we got Modded Out, so collect all 7 Season of the Splicer mods. So check out the Splicer Servitor in the Helm, and you'll see the Elemental Well mods at the bottom. So each time you rank up at the Splicer Servitor, you get a new mod, and it costs 300 decrypted data for a single rank. And you're going to need to collect enough decrypted data to level up the Splicer Servitor all the way to rank 10 in order to unlock all of the available Elemental Well mods. Well, next up it's Splicers Armament, so complete a Sacred Fusion quest, and this one is all about completing the Seasonal Weapon quest from Banshee 44 for the Null Composure Fusion Rifle. And this quest can be picked up from Banshee 44, and it's just a matter of completing the objectives there, and I do have a specific guide on this one, plus some tips for how to make it go faster, so be sure to check that one out. Next up we got Daybreak, so defeat the source of the Endless Night. So when you first start this season, this is one of the secret triumphs until you complete week 6's story and find out that Savathun and Curia are the sources of the Endless Night. So we're currently waiting for week 7, but it's highly likely we're going to end up in a battle against Curia to finish the Endless Night, which should complete this triumph. Next up we got Short Circuiter, so defeat combatants using Season of the Splicer weapons. So this one is one of the more grindy aspects of the triumphs this season, and if you're using Splicer weapons on a regular basis, you should be able to complete this one with relative ease. But I've been switching between the Vault of Glass weapons and Splicer weapons a lot, so I haven't really made as much progress as I would have liked. By Season of the Splicer weapons, I'm assuming this is Grid Skipper, Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Farewell, Sojourner's Tale, and also the Shattered Cipher. And to give this one a boost, I went to the Shurochi section of the Last Wish raid and spent some time there farming 4 kills, which topped up this triumph for me within minutes. Well, next up we got Wire Cutter, so defeat Vex while wearing Season of the Splicer armor, and you earn bonus progress for each armor piece equipped. You can get Splicer armor from the Override mission as drops, and it's simply a matter of putting that on and defeating Vex. So Override is a great place to farm this, and it's one of the simpler triumphs to complete on the list. Well, next up we have Virtual Fighter, so defeat champions in Override. So while in Override missions you're going to need to defeat the champions. Once again, it's fairly straightforward, so try and kill as many as you can throughout the season to keep on top of the triumph, just so you don't have to go in there and defeat loads at the end of the season. And finally, we've got Brute Force, so defeat champions in Expunge, and this one was another one that was a secret at the start of the season, so in the Expunge missions, defeat champions, and then defeat enough to fill up that bar to 100%. I would check in week by week, just so you don't have to spend too much time in Expunge at the end of the season, trying to tick off that triumph. Well, there you have it. That is all you need to do to get your hands on the shiny new Splicer title. It is worth noting that you can't get this just yet, but in a few weeks' time all of the triumphs will open up, so some of this content is time gated and mainly related to the story mission. As I say, we can do everything up to Path of the Splicer 6 at the moment, and tomorrow Path of the Splicer 7 is going to drop, and then 8, and then we've got the epilogue, so I reckon you'll be able to complete that in a few weeks' time. Titles aren't for everyone, and in the past some of the triumphs have been super grindy. However, this season it looks like Bungie are opening up titles to the masses, which I think can only really be a good thing, as it allows players to express themselves in the game and show off their achievements. There are a few here that can be a little bit of a grind, for example defeating enemies with Splicer weapons. I would recommend logging in each week, running through some of the Override and Expunge missions, using these Splicer weapons to get the job done. It should be a fairly simple task to get the title this season. But if you get stuck, refer back to this guide and feel free to ask questions in the comments. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think of the Splicer title grind. I'd be really interested to know if this is your first title, or if you go after the title every season. Well, that is it for this guide for how to get the Splicer title in Destiny 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. See you soon.
Guardian, the light favors you.
The Guardian did the hard part, but I admit that your Splicer tricks are useful.
The Saint finds you.